Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me, as always,
it's Gator.
And we have a special guest with us today.
Very special.
We have Ryan Gonzalez from the world-famous St. Louis landmark, Hill Cigar Company.
How's it going, guys?
It's good. How are you, Ryan?
Good. Just living the dream over here.
There you go.
Living the dream.
So, Ryan...
I like that shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Hey, for the listeners, tell them what you're wearing.
I'm wearing a Asylum 13 shirt that looks very identical to The Punisher, which, by the way, the movie was filmed in my hometown, Tampa, Florida.
The one with John Travolta?
Yeah, the shitty one. Yeah.
See, I liked what's his face? God damn it! The one who played who's the one who played the Punisher in that one? That was Thomas Jane.
Yes.
Yeah, Thomas Jane was good. I like Thomas Jane.
I mean, John Travolta to me just ruins everything, man.
Yeah, John Travolta was less than stellar, but Thomas Jane was pretty good.
He was good in Wild Hogs.
You could take Thomas Jane and put him in the MCU, and I'd have been happy.
John Travolta was very swordfish in The Punisher.
Yes.
So when you watch both movies, it's almost like a spin-off of the other
No,
one.
you're right.
Well, see, now we're getting into what I like to do with movies.
Oh,
where
God.
that character, that actor, is the same person throughout everything they do in their career. You have to find a way to link everything in their career together. So the one I like to use the most, it's the most clear example that people can understand.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I want to apologize.
The one I like to use the most clear example everyone can understand is Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Okay. So it starts off 1984. He's a cop in New York, and he has to go to the cell to get the Ghostbusters out to bring him to the mayor because weird shit's going on the island, and the whole island's going crazy, right?
Yep.
Remember?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he was like, fuck this. There's ghosts in New York. I'm out of here. I'm going clear to California. So he's living the high life out in California as a cop when all of a sudden, Nakatomi Plaza.
Okay.
And he has to,
save Bruce
Willis's ass and all that, and everything like that goes down. Well,
witness protection kicks in.
At that point, witness protection kicks in.
I've heard the story a lot.
They ship him to Chicago, and
he becomes a beat cop.
All he knows is to be a beat cop. So he, becomes a beat cop in Chicago, and he lives next door to this nerdy little kid.
That sounds like a terrible movie, man. I'm going to be honest with you.
I get it.
That's the TV show.
But that's just the premise. The premise is that everything's connected.
Okay. Yeah.
So now you can branch it off and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, anybody. They're always connected. It's always weird when they die and everything, though. Then you got to figure out how to make that happen.
Do you think Burt Reynolds would be another one that kind of just does, the same shit in every movie? No.
Yeah, but he's dead now.
Is
he dead? I think he's dead.
Did Burt Reynolds die and I missed it?
To the Googles.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't
Reynolds
know.
is dead.
I mean, I guess it's possible.
Why are you guys speaking ill of the dead?
I didn't know he was dead.
I don't know. Let me look it up. I could be wrong. God knows I have been before.
I mean, he looked dead for a while. They just forgot to bury him, I think.
Oh, he was really sick for a while.
Was he?
Well, anyway, while Jeff is looking up whether Burt Reynolds is alive or dead, we're going to be smoking the Casa Cuba Flor Fina Toro today. This is brought to us by Arturo Fuente, and it is like I said, it is a Toro. So it measures
By the way,
6x52. It has a Ecuadorian wrapper and a Dominican Republic binder and filler.
Burt Reynolds was born in February 11th, 1936 in Lansing, Michigan, and died September 6th, 2018 at Jupiter, Florida.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, so we're Burt Reynolds-less.
Okay.
All right. R.I.P.
Now we know.
No more Cannonball Run for us.
No more. So
long live Burt.
We'll dedicate this cut in honor of Burt Reynolds.
This is for Smokey and the Bandit.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. It is now time to cut the cigar.
I haven't even got mine out of the cellophane.
Of course you haven't, because why would he?
Sucker's in there.
That's what she said.
I like him. It's going to go great.
Oh.
Can I borrow your cutter?
So that's going to come up later, but I'll wait for that.
Okay.
I'll wait for that. So in the meantime, Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us the elevator speech.
By the way, this stick was Ryan's pick.
It was. As we covered earlier.
Okay.
You
I should pay attention.
You don't listen to the show.
During the cast,
even when you're doing it.
He was doing the Smokey and the Bandit segment.
I was.
Oh, okay.
He was distracted. Yeah, no, thanks for trusting in me to pick this one out. This is a personal favorite of mine. I've been at the Hill Cigar in St. Louis now for about 4 months. I moved here from Tampa, Florida. I was previously a sales rep for a small company out of the Dominican named Geronimo. So I'm changing it up a little bit. I got into retail now. Being from Tampa, I smoked a lot of Fuente, a lot of Oliva. So luckily, Tim and Jessica and Jody here at the Hill have really helped me just like broaden my horizons and try new stuff out, and really just I think finally opened me up to like the entire industry of cigars and kind of like the things that I've been missing out on. It's just, being Cuban from Tampa, it's kind of like religion to smoke Fuente, and if you don't, you might die by firing squad. Just kidding. But yeah,
and they're all wearing those hats.
Yes,
those Carlito hats. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of the uniform, I guess. But so yeah, St. Louis has been great. I'm happy to be in the retail side of things. I think to sum it up, some of the best life advice I've gotten is over a cigar.
Some of the worst I've given has been too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it works both ways. But being able to just meet some new people, especially you guys. Thanks for having me on. It's been awesome. So I've really been enjoying it. Yeah.
So now that you've been in St. Louis for a little while, aside from the weather, because I mean that's an easy one. What are some obvious notable differences? Some things between here and Tampa that maybe you're just like that really stand out?
I would say, referring to the cigar scene, I would say it's a lot more laid back around here. From the small stint I had as a rep, I've noticed that the Florida industry is very cutthroat, very dominant. It gets pretty crazy down here. People are just a little bit more laid back. I noticed a lot of shops around here, put out a good word for every other shop. I get more of like a family vibe up here, and that's nothing against Tampa, but when you're named Cigar City for so many years, I think it kind of gets to people's heads around there. And at one point, I think
higher level of competition, perhaps.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a immense Hispanic population in Florida, so I would think, in my personal opinion, because of that, cigars are a really serious deal down there. So
it's just ingrained in the culture.
It's just ingrained in the culture. I mean, myself growing up in a Cuban family, my grandmother smoked cigars. I mean, she'd keep me from going outside because I would always be getting into shit and getting into trouble, and making me make her an espresso and lighten her cigar. And I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, I was like, man, that's disgusting. But I think it was just ingrained in me. It's like, when my dad used to make me listen to shitty music when I was a kid. Like, what is The Who? What is AC/DC?
You just hurt Jeff's soul.
But,
yeah, you did.
But I've changed since then. I've grown up and kind of realized that, I appreciate those things. It, especially moving now, it brings me back to home, Especially like a cigar like this, this brings me back to Tampa. So I'm happy I'm smoking it.
So as you light up there, what do you get on your stick, Nick? I did not do the cold draw or the cold draw retro hail that I have made famous.
No, I did just choke on it, though.
You did? Did you do a retro hail or just in general?
I attempted briefly, but then it fell apart very harshly there. I'll get back to it in a minute. I don't know. There's a spice component.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
There's a spice component to it. It's smooth.
Beautiful band.
Oh, Fuente makes nice bands.
Yeah. Santiago.
Although this one's a little different. It doesn't have the Arturo Fuente name like plastered all over it.
Yeah. I mean, seeing as like the blend is and, the name Casa Cuba, I think they're really going for that Cuban vibe here.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned something off air, and you may have said it on air, and, I don't pay attention. But you said this was actually the last cigar?
Yes, that Carlito Fuente blended before he passed away.
Carlito or Carlos?
Carlos. I apologize.
I'm like, yeah. Pretty sure I just saw Carlito the other week at TPE. I'm like,
he made it home, right?
We had zombies.
I better not go back to Tampa and have people knocking on my door. What the hell did you say?
You killed Carlito.
Yeah, you killed Carlito.
They'll find you up here.
Yeah, so, I have a couple friends in the business still, and I've, heard through the grapevine that this was, in fact, a cigar, one of the last ones, if not the last one that he blended before he passed away.
Okay.
I know there is a lot of listings, on the internet as far as research as to what wrapper is used, but I have heard, I can't say who, but that Carlos Fuente actually had like a special stash of different kinds of wrappers. So it's said that he kind of just grabbed stuff here and there and finally threw something together, and it's kind of like not really known exactly what wrapper was used. So that's just kind of like an urban myth that I've heard. But this is kind of like his last stamp on the world before he left us, unfortunately. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, fun.
Good stick.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so...
am I wrong here? Is it got just a little bit of a box press to it?
It
seems a little squared.
It is a little squared. It's a really soft box press.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not well defined. Good looking stick, good burn.
It is.
Yeah, I like the construction.
You were saying that when you were down in Tampa, you smoked a lot of Fuentes and a couple other brands I know you mentioned.
Yeah, Oliva, Fuente. Yeah.
So now that you were up in this area and you're at the Hill, what are you smoking now?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I'm still making my way around the humidor. I would say some of the brands I think I'm most impressed with would by far be CLE. Blackworks is doing some great stuff. I just started trying Blackworks probably in the last month, and I've ran through it, and I'm just speechless as far as like to the quality of what they're putting out. I was never pertaining to CLE. I was never a Honduran tobacco fan. I think it was one of those things back in the day that just wasn't done right. But since I started smoking CLE, it's just really impressive what he's putting out, the price point, the construction, the taste. Across the board, his mild, his medium, his full body. I'd say Christian Aroa has just really wowed me a lot. So that's definitely a couple of my new favorites. Tried a couple LFD. Just from a retail standpoint, I'm trying to run through everything.
Yeah.
So I know I got a lot left. But, I would say those are probably my top two so far.
Okay.
We actually met Christian here at the Hill at an event 6-8 months ago. I think it was before you were working here.
Yeah, right.
But
before
he
I
was here
moved
at the
there.
here
I think it
for
was
an
around
event.
like August or something like
Great
that.
guy.
Yeah. And then I saw him out at TPE.
There you go.
It was a lot of fun. Well, anyway, so we're going to go through a few things here.
Uh-oh.
So
I never like it when Nick has show prep because it's always aimed at me.
I don't have a lot of it, actually. So on Tuesdays, we do a segment called Ask the Boys. And people can ask us questions about really pretty much anything. And unfortunately, we haven't received a whole lot of questions this week.
Lately. We've had a lot in the past.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, everybody's being really shy about their questions. So we need people to send us their questions. But we'll go ahead and jump into that here first. And we will do those. And then from there, I figure it'll be fun to come back. And I want to talk to Ryan about Cigar Lounge etiquette.
Good deal.
Because, he's been working at the Hill.
We're gonna have Ryan sit in for the questions though, right?
Oh yeah,
because he's one of the boys.
He can help out with the questions.
Awesome.
Basically, if you don't know the answer, you just fake it.
Fake it till you make it.
That's what I do.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So
that's my life motto.
Yeah. Well, it's time once again for us to answer questions from listeners about cigars or pretty much anything. And this week we are a little light on questions, but Jeff says he has a few.
Oh, no, I'm going to pack it.
So we'll see what we get here. So the first question is from regular listener Craddock Dennis. Dennis always has questions for us.
Love you, Dennis.
Nice. So Dennis wants to know, he has a question specifically for Gator.
Should we call him Craddock or
we
Dennis?
Just call him Dennis.
Well, what if that's his last name?
Dennis is his first name.
You know that for sure,
I know
for a fact, for certain?
Yes,
okay.
This is Dennis. Dennis says that you seem to love your AR.
I do.
And he wants to know if you reload for it. And if so, what powder does he like? And also, what bullet does he find works best in it?
Okay, so first of all, I don't reload. I usually shoot a NATO 5.56. And that being said, I do have a lot of cordite, but it's for other uses.
What other uses?
Just, we'll see. Hopefully I never have to employ those tactics.
And
now, if you're trying to sneak up to my house to stay away from the bird feeders, right? I've told you that.
You've told me that.
Yeah, don't go near the bird feeders or the empty drums.
Because they're all full of tannerite.
there might be something.
I feel like preppers are going to start listening to this show.
Oh, dude, this guy. No, you don't understand. Gator is like, I mean, like.
You fill an internal tube with
screw
tannerite,
around.
and then you just sprinkle birdseed around it. You plug up the holes so nothing can eat it. You hang it in your tree. Yeah. Now, if someone's hiding behind the tree, maybe they're coming at you, trying to take a pot shot, you just blow up the bird feeder next to their head. They don't see it coming.
You learn all sorts of things.
It's very concussive.
Where do you live?
I don't want to say.
Oh.
Okay. It's not a question of where he lives. It's when are the federal agents going to finally come out there?
Yeah.
It's a matter of time. They got to find me, though.
It's like a Ruby Ridge situation in the works. Anyway.
The government gunned those people down.
So
granted, they were stealing everybody's shit around them. They weren't, by any means, they weren't innocent in this, but still. You don't shoot a mom holding her baby, I'm just saying.
So our second question comes from Brendan Klein.
Did I go too deep there? You wanted to get away from that quickly?
Brendan he says, hey guys, keep it up. When will we hear from Squirrel again? Love that dude.
Squirrel was one of our best episodes.
Squirrel,
we need to explain who Squirrel is.
So Squirrel is a guy who lives in Pennsylvania.
All right.
His name is Jason, but he goes by Squirrel. And Squirrel, he has a woodshed, and he hand makes his own humidors and ashtrays and cigar props and everything like that. And he makes really nice looking stuff.
He's quite the woodsman.
Yes.
He is.
Okay.
And he came on and did a whole show about humidors and humidor maintenance. And it is...
That thing caught fire.
Definitely our number one episode by far. People really seem interested in that. So,
We definitely have to get him back on.
Well, I agree. I'm all good with getting Squirrel back on. It's really just a matter of when Squirrel has time and the desire to do so.
Exactly.
So
I think he wants to come back on. He enjoyed it.
Too.
He had a good time that day.
I know he does. We'll figure it out.
We'll get it worked out.
We will. So
well,
that's what I've got, Jeff. What have you got?
I have a question for young Ryan. Ryan, how old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
Okay, so Ryan is 26 years old. He's moved up from Miami, Florida, moved up here to St. Louis. You're working in the lounge. Uh-oh. My question for you is...
Uh-oh.
Our man Strong's here. Just came up to the lounge, leaned over, said hi to us through the window.
Giving shit to Ryan is what he's doing.
Yeah, giving shit already. So, Ryan, my question for you is, at 26 years old, how do you see the dating scene different here as it was in Miami?
Well, I'm from Tampa, so...
I'm sorry.
Fine. I don't think I have too much input just because I moved up here with my girlfriend, so I haven't been out in the dating scene. I hope to God she's not listening to this. So for safety...
None of us have implied that you were in the dating scene. So it's like...
You're a young guy. I'm wondering like what you see different. Let's say not on the dating scene, then just in the social scene in St. Louis. How does it differ from Florida?
I will tell you that I haven't been around St. Louis too much, but I think I made a great choice in moving in a section called Tower Grove.
It's beautiful, yeah.
It's very beautiful. It's a real young crowd, very progressive. I know it's a big LGBTQ community, support a lot of local businesses. From my standpoint, just growing up around Ybor City and Tampa, having that kind of close-knitted neighborhood where kind of...
Community within a community
exactly.
kind of thing. Yeah.
There's a camaraderie. There's a respect. I really enjoy it. It's different. It's laid back. It's not as fast-paced as Tampa. I really enjoy it. It's kind of like my home away from home. I kind of see the similarities along with the differences between the two. But Tower Grove is awesome. I think it was probably one of the best choices to make as far as living there. And I'm not going to leave anytime soon.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, did you see any mob hits or anything when you were in Florida?
No. I would say, don't quote me on this, but a lot of the...
You should see the bishop's face right now.
What the hell kind of question is that?
If you don't hear from me just for a couple weeks after this segment, just know that I got whacked.
Gator pushed it too far.
I got whacked.
Okay.
Yeah, I think most of the mafia scene has probably subsided. I know they're still there, but along with the changes in the community of Tampa, I'm really glad to say that Ybor City has really held it down as far as keeping the culture and keeping, just the foundation of, what Ybor City was when it first came around. I know, in 1885 is really when not only a vast Cuban population, but the Italians and the Germans started coming in. And at that point, Tampa was Cigar City. They were the hub for cigars for the United States at that time. A fun fact is, I don't know if you guys have ever had a Cuban sandwich, but
I have.
There's an argument between what is the hometown of the Cuban sandwich. Is it Miami or Tampa? But it's Tampa because, like I said,
yeah,
on a Cuban sandwich, you're reflecting the Italians, the Germans, and the Cubans all in one sandwich. You got your Swiss cheese and your pickles for the German community, the salami that represents the Italians, and then the pulled pork for the Cubans. So if anybody ever tells you that it's Miami, they're full of shit.
All right, then.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a very definitive answer.
And I noticed that he said that the Italians and the Germans moved in and had quite an influence. The same thing happened back in the 30s in Europe.
Jesus.
You're not wrong, though. I don't think you're wrong, though.
Oh,
man.
my God.
You hit on that.
I was sitting here thinking he's going to say that about St. Louis, because we have large German and Italian
The Germans never invaded St. Louis.
A lot of Bosnians here, too.
There are, yeah. We've had a big Bosnian community come up, since the war in the Balkans.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway.
Yeah, South St. Louis kind of became a haven.
So, just with the World War II reference out of nowhere. Oh, my God.
Imagine Germans and Italians in the same breath. I couldn't let that go.
That's a good one. Oh, man.
Anyway.
So what do you miss? There's got to be something you just miss.
I guess this is an opportunity for me to give a shout out to my hometown brick and mortar.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, what stores did you
there is a
hit up?
Brick and mortar, actually right down the street from the J.C. Newman factory, and it's called Vincent and Tampa Cigars. It's owned by a very close friend of mine named Eric Fulgera, who, a fun fact, his grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, invented the very first cigar press that came into being in Ybor City.
Wow.
He has a small line of bundle cigars from Nicaragua called Giocondas. If you've ever heard of them, if you ever see them, try one. They're awesome. But just growing up around there, I actually started hanging out there in a kind of a weird point in my life. I finally got sober. I finally stopped drinking. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I had a lot of old guys there just giving me some free wisdom over a cigar, just giving me a lot of free advice and really shaping, my knowledge as far as the industry and my knowledge as just a human being, being a better man, being a better boyfriend, being a better son to my parents. I can't give enough credit in the world to those guys and really what they've done for me. I can say I wouldn't be here at the Hill if it weren't for those guys. So I just wanted to give them a small little shout out.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the power of the Cigar Lounge.
It is.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time.
The culture of the Cigar Lounge.
The Cigar Lounge is the great equalizer. You have people from all different walks of life that sit back in there and talk. They give wisdom. Sometimes they give things that aren't necessarily wisdom.
Yeah.
You'll hear a lot in a Cigar Lounge, but it really is a great equalizer, and it brings people together where it can bring a young guy like you that, needed some guidance and needed some help, and you had the people that were there to do it for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. They brought me in there, and I didn't know one guy in there, and my dad always told me, when you're around your elders, just shut the fuck up and listen. And, at the time I was like, man, you're just being harsh. But in reality, if you really just sit there and you get to listen to these guys and what they have to offer about life, I'd be crazy not to. And, it's an awesome feeling. I can say probably my most memorable cigar experiences as far as what's the best cigar you've had, what's that one stick that just hit you right. I have those sticks, but, I base the memories on, who I'm smoking the stick next to. I think that really gives it all the extra, experience. It's a great thing. I could go on for hours, but it's just one of those unspoken things that, as time goes on, you can really see it take an effect on you and, really just make you a happier person, at least for me. So.
No, I totally get that. That there's some, the stick itself is only part of the reason why it's your favorite or most memorable cigar and everything else. It's the environment that you're in. It's the people you're with. It's your mindset and mood of that. I mean, if you're in a shitty mood, if you have a favorite cigar and you're in a shitty mood and you smoke that cigar, it's not going to taste as good as when you're in a normal or good mood and you're having that cigar. It's your mood plays into it.
Absolutely.
Now, it can help you get out of that funk. It can help bring you out of that negative mood a little bit, but it still isn't as good.
Yeah. I would say looking at, to me, I look at cigars, different kinds of cigars, like different kinds of therapists, because I've been to so many. Each one has its own style and kind of aids to the conversation.
Yeah.
And, it could be a conversation piece as well. From a retail standpoint, there's a lot of guys that come in here and, they grab quorums and they're just that daily smoker that doesn't really.
I got a couple of them here. I just bought. So.
And then,
those are kind of my road sticks when I'm driving in my Jeep. And
absolutely. Yeah. And then, you got those, I'll just call them, cigar geeks, those guys that really know a lot about these boutique brands that are, rising up and getting popular. And you get to share that love with these guys. And it's an awesome thing to share, with, like you said, all walks of life. It brings everybody together. And I think you really have to sit back and think about it for a second. It just happens and you're like, wow, like that was a really good cigar.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Tim here at the Hill is actually getting one of our boutique brands in that we really like out of...
Talking about it.
What's that?
Talking about it.
Yeah. And we won't say what it is.
Jose, we're talking about it.
But it's one of those things when you talk about those boutique brands.
He did just have another one of the samples from TPE yesterday when I was up here, and he was raving about it. So, kind of one of those crossing the fingers, because if that comes in, I'm all in on that.
Oh, I am too.
But actually, you and I may have some news coming soon related to them.
Uh-oh.
I may have had a conversation yesterday that I need to tell you about.
No. Nick likes to write checks that my ass has to cash.
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is one that I think you're going to like.
I'm all in.
So
me. I'm all in.
I know. So that's a tease.
In more ways than...
I'm not all in on that. I don't know what you're implying there, bud, but it had the tinge of homosexuality, so I'm going to just say no.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, you just keep pushing the envelope.
What?
It's all about balance.
Yes.
What? Anyway. Well, I guess that's it.
Is that it for Ask the Boys?
Ask the Boys this week. So,
we've been asked.
But folks, remember, send me your questions. We can only do this if you send questions. I mean, I can't make up questions here, so.
I made up two.
Well, yeah, for our guests, that worked out fine.
Exactly.
Anyway, so send us your questions. Either send me a direct message through Instagram or go on over to cigarpulpit.com and use the Contact the Pulpit page.
Well, that was awesome.
That was awesome. It was something.
Ask the Boys is always fun.
I know you like it.
I do. It's my favorite segment.
The other thing that I wanted to touch base with Ryan on is Cigar Lounge etiquette.
Okay.
So, everybody has their first time coming into the lounge. And there's a lot of people that have been into lounges maybe before, and maybe there's rules, or not necessarily rules, but unspoken rules.
Yeah.
That maybe they just need to be aware of.
What does the novice need to know when they're entering the door?
Or what does an experienced person need to know that maybe they're doing wrong that they need to correct?
Why are you looking at me? Why are you always looking at me on those questions?
I just glanced your way. It wasn't somebody's feeling a little defensive here, so.
I'm sure I'm doing everything wrong.
I know. So anyway, so what thoughts do you have on Cigar Lounge etiquette there?
I will say, as far as my experience, I think there should be more. There should be more groups revolving around etiquette. Like you said, I think it's unspoken. I think kind of that ego comes in, and people don't want to ask questions, or when in doubt. And I get it. I mean, I've smoked cigars with a lot of egotistical assholes and some good people.
Get to them right here.
But I would say one of the biggest no-nos that I've seen is licking the cap before you cut it. That's probably the thing I've seen the most.
Don't lick your cigar.
Yes.
I've never seen anyone do that.
I've seen it so many
That
times.
happens?
Why do you think I have a slob cutter in my travel humidor, Jeff?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not. I've never seen anyone. I didn't know that was a thing.
I'll tell you a recent experience.
I'm not paying enough attention.
Since I'm actually wearing the Asylum 13 shirt, somebody was smoking a 8x80, one of those crazy sizes that
Big
Asylum,
horse's leg.
yes,
cigar.
a redwood log, and when you get halfway, you get the nicotine buildup, right? And then with such a big cigar, I mean, if I smoked it, I know I would chew on it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So all that nicotine buildup in such a big cigar
Gets kind of tarry at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I see this very fine gentleman, very good man, nice guy. I'm not going to name his name. But just sopping with just brown liquid and just sticks it in the cutter.
This is the house cutter.
This is the house cutter.
Oh.
And it is dripping with just bodily
Gnarliness.
fluid and loneliness and just depression. Yes. I had to quarantine
Sounds
myself.
like Jeff, dripping with bodily fluid and loneliness.
Yes. And
Anyway.
depression.
And so anyway, so we used the house cutter to clip that off.
Yes. And again, for me, that's difficult to approach because
How do you even get an 80? Or did you say 70 or an 80?
like an 8x80.
How do you even get that thing into the cutter?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to jam it.
we have cutters that can accommodate
Okay.
because we actually sell a lot of them. But from my standpoint, if somebody's coming into the lounge to spend their hard-earned money and hang out and be a part of the family in the back in the lounge, my no is I'm not gonna take this guy and pull him aside and reprimand him on
Yeah.
how to smoke his cigar. Now, that's my job.
But on the flip side, he should know not to be taking his nasty cigar and using the community cutter that everybody else has the right and ability to use after he's slobbed all over his cigar.
And that, for me, is difficult because I'm trying to find a balance of being educational without being an asshole about it.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a tightrope to walk.
And it's a tightrope to walk, especially here at the Hill. I mean, we have such a great base of regulars, guys that have been growing up on the Hill and been around the Hill for 40-plus years. And I respect that. And the last thing I want to do is make them uncomfortable, regardless of what their cigar knowledge is. I mean, we want everybody to come in. You can come in and buy 17 Opus X's or Padrones, and I'm going to treat that guy just the same as I treat the guy that comes in and buys a Cherry Bomb CAO flavored, Corona-sized cigar.
I've done that.
Yeah.
You have done that. I watched you smoke
So,
one of those.
It was unpleasant.
Everybody,
But anyway.
everybody is equally important to me. Like we said, I mean, there's some good people around here, and regardless of what they're smoking, if it can bring them in the back and shoot the shit with us, we're all for it. So,
Well, that's one of the things I like about this cigar lounge is it's just family.
Yeah.
You walk in here and, whether it's Tony or it's Strong or it's Manfred or, just go down the list of all the regulars. And, everybody here just treats us like we're part of it. The minute we walked in here, everybody treated us like we were family. I haven't got that at every cigar lounge we've gone to.
No, that's true. Not everyone.
The Riverman is great. There have been other lounges that have been really good and accommodating to us, but there's also been some that are a little stuffy.
I'd say one other piece of etiquette, just from my perspective, is maybe keep your if you have a negative opinion about a cigar that you see somebody smoking, just keep it to yourself. It's one of those things that if I'm sitting back there and you come back there and you're smoking something that I don't like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, why the hell are you smoking that? Or something like that. I mean,
now, if they're going to buy you the replacement to try, then that's a different story.
well, yeah, if they're going to buy me one and they're going to buy me that one that they're smoking, I'm going to be like, that one, I've tried that one. It's maybe not my cup of tea, but I'm not going to shit on you for smoking something that you're obviously maybe enjoying.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want to, like my saying, or I shouldn't say my saying, but the saying I've heard is different smokes for different folks.
Yeah.
I mean, people say Padron sells itself. It's one of the best cigars in the world. And then I've had guys say that it's terrible to them. And I don't judge that guy based on that because I know that everybody's palate's different.
Yep.
I would know from personal experience. I smoked a cigar the other day that I hadn't smoked in maybe 3.5, 4 years. And it was a completely different cigar once I've tried others and, worked my way around the humidor. This isn't a scientific fact, but from my personal experience, when you kind of get into different blends and you expand your palate, your palate changes,
Yeah.
And
I've seen that just with us doing the show.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a cigar is a cigar. I don't have any judgment against it. If you're gonna judge someone based on the label of their cigar, then I think you're the problem. I think that takes away from the camaraderie, the industry, and that sense of family. I mean, don't try to set yourself apart based on, the fact that you want to spend $20 on a stick rather than $4 on a house blend.
Yeah.
There's no difference. Different smokes with different folks. Yeah.
Any other pieces of etiquette or anything that we need to discuss, touch base on? I mean, it's a broad topic. Everybody's got their peeves and their things.
Absolutely.
And I don't necessarily want to touch base on nothing but negative stuff. I mean, maybe there's some positive things that people need to know. I don't know. I make it a point that when I'm sitting back there, if let's say the room is full and, chairs are at a premium, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's more of a elderly patron that comes in or maybe a lady.
Yes.
Offer up your chair.
Absolutely.
They may say no, but offer up your chair.
Yeah.
It's
the thought that counts.
That's just a gentlemanly kind of thing,
Yeah.
I mean, but whatever. But I think that's important.
Yeah. Speaking on the women thing, I would say from personal experience, growing up in a very male-dominant shop, just a little, watching what you say around women, I think is probably one of my biggest pet peeves. You get these guys in there that just get carried away, and conversation among men, we know how guys are. We get carried away, but then, once that woman walks in, the last thing we want to do is make them feel uncomfortable.
Precisely.
It's not a locker room.
It's not a locker room. Yeah. I think, women have such a strong role in this industry, especially for me. I'd like to give another shout out to Jody here at the Hill. She's taught me more about cigars in the industry than anybody has in my entire life in a matter of 4 months. She is an aficionado in my opinion, and I think a lot credit needs to be given a lot more to these women, and especially ownership in some of these brands by women and how they're changing the industry and fighting for the industry and doing nothing but great things and really changing it for the better. So.
I mean, dude, you're not going to hear any argument from me on that fact. I mean, Jody's been on the show before. She came on and did an entire show about pipes with us before because, ask anybody here. You can't find anybody around that knows any more about pipes than Jody.
No.
And I would say is equally for the same thing as cigars. I have never once gone in this humidor, which we have hundreds of facings, and picked a cigar that she doesn't know something about or what kind of wrapper it has, who made it, how many versions have come out. She just knows such a vast knowledge, and, I've told her a million times, 20 years from now when I'm sitting next to my kids and they're going to ask me who was one of the most influential people in my life as far as cigars, I will always say Jody's name, and it'll never dissipate. So,
well, cool.
Yeah.
The other thing is, don't give me the power of the remote control.
Yeah.
I don't want the remote
That's
control.
That's a bad thing.
If you're going to have the remote control, be willing to have some strength behind you because you're going to have 8 people with 8 different opinions about what should be on that TV.
And no politics. Please, no politics.
Yes.
They watched the State of the Union the other night up here.
Oh, we did. We watched the State of the Union the other night up here. And I'll tell you, when that thing came on, I'd say about half the crowd left because they just didn't even want to mess with it and everything else. And, I mean, I was working, so I was only half paying attention.
Yeah.
But, I get it.
Nick also likes to put on ice dancing back in the lounge and see how long it takes people to realize.
We did that yesterday.
I found it quite pleasant.
Right? It was a change of pace. Well, okay, look. We were watching golf, and realistically, I would rather watch paint dry than watch golf on TV. And
now, I've always said if you add the element of live fire to golf, it's going to take it up a notch.
And I brought that up.
Some bouncing betties out on the course, maybe a sniper or two in the trees.
I brought that up, and somebody asked if a mortar round hits the pin and expands the size of the hole, does that make the hole? Does that mean that the hole is that much bigger? And I say, yeah. I mean, change the rules of the golf. But anyway, no, I'm fine with that. But
you're fine with people shooting golfers because that's what you just said.
We changed the channel.
I mean, you heard that, right, Ryan?
I heard that.
We changed the channel to figure skating. And just to see how long it would take for people to notice that we were watching figure skating. And believe it or not, it took quite a while before anybody even said anything. So we just sat down and started talking, and people are talking and doing whatever. It took quite a while for people to actually know. And it was somebody new coming into the room like, we're watching figure skating? To which I responded, she's got some fucking great form. Let's just, back
appreciate
off
the eye stance.
Appreciate the eye stance.
Yep.
And we kept going. So it was funny.
Yeah. Well,
then somebody pointed out the blues were on, so we immediately switched it. So
well, let's be honest. The ice dancing is basically just it's their version of the job interview for, say, the Ice Capades or Disney on Ice.
It was a preliminary round for the Olympics, dude.
Okay.
It was in Southeast Asia or whatever.
So no Olympians ever ended up in Disney on Ice or the Ice Capades? Because they do.
I'm just saying this was an Olympic thing.
They do.
This was not a Disney on Ice or Ice Capades thing.
Okay.
So
give it about 5 years.
I'm sure at some point. So
I think probably two guys that get laid the most: male barbers, like haircutters, and male figure skaters.
What are you basing any of that on, and why didn't I get into those professions?
Wait. When you say male barbers, do you mean like male hairstylists?
A hairstylist.
Okay, for females.
Like a straight male hairstylist and a straight male figure skater. I mean, they just got it coming at them. I think they get laid more than anybody else.
You're not built for either one. Well, maybe
upper body strength.
Barber.
I can't skate. As I sit here and pick on the Ice Capades, I can't skate to save my life.
Nobody wants to trust you with scissors near their head, though. Oh, no. That's the problem.
No.
Every woman coming out of there is going to be all high and tight.
Everything I do is with a straight razor.
Every lady coming out is going to have the high and tight military buzz.
Like G.I. Jane.
Exactly.
Hey, short hair on women's hot. That's all I got to say.
As long as it's Demi Moore, I have no problem with that.
See, there you go. He knows what I'm talking about.
So we haven't circled up on the stick for a little while.
No.
What's everybody getting on their cigar?
I'm more than halfway, and I'm enjoying it. It's a great cigar. Like you said, it's got some spice to it. You guys picking anything else up?
I would say, as far as, cigars coming out that try to get into the whole Cuban kind of style of things, I would say this Casa Cuba is probably the closest thing to it. This, the Dominican Puro, the wrapper, the construction, the draw. I think this is just, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. This is one of my personal favorites.
And what's it at? A little around a $10 price point?
It's about a $10 stick, yeah.
Yeah. But this is well worth it. It's a good cigar.
I will say I did just do a retro hail.
What'd you get?
I did not cough. I want to point
I'm
that
impressed.
out. So it is smooth. And I kind of get a little, maybe like a little floral smell.
Yeah.
You get kind of a little floral.
That also might be the tumor. But
I blame everything on the tumor, but,
As long as you don't smell burnt toast, you're not having a heart attack.
I call him Joe.
Ooh, burnt toast. I got to keep that in mind.
You've gotten that on a cigar before.
I have.
Burnt toast.
and a numb arm at the same time. I should have paid more attention.
Probably. It was a minor one.
Mm-hmm. This is a good stick, though. So, Nick, you want to let everybody know how they reach out to us on the socials?
So, yeah, we are available on social media. We are on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit. We are also on Instagram at Naked Gator, Nekkid Gator.
My page.
We have that you never update.
It's one more thing.
I'm getting heat from people about how you never update.
It's one more thing.
So
it really is.
Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and you can always reach out to us through cigarpulpit.com.
There you go.
And we need to pick a winner for this week's drawing. It is Tuesday, so it is time
What's our gift this week?
Go ahead and give away a prize. Now, our gift this week, I'm calling the Gator Special.
Ooh.
The Gator Special is courtesy of Drew Estates. They sent us a very nice gift box with all sorts of swag to give away. And the Gator Special this week is a lighter and a cutter because he never has one.
That's true, I don't.
So we're going to go ahead and give the Gator Special Lighter and Cutter
Last
courtesy
week,
of Drew Estates.
He actually picked someone I know in person, that listens. And he listens to the show, and he's signed up for our newsletter. But it was somebody that I actually know.
Yep.
Craig Lazenby. So he was
so
our first winner.
This week, we are going to pick listener Calvin Bush.
Calvin Bush, congratulations.
Calvin Bush, congratulations. You are the winner of the Gator Special. So, Calvin, here's the deal. You have until noon on following Monday.
To claim the prize?
Noon on the following Monday. So, this episode is going to drop on Tuesday. So, you have until noon on... Let me check the calendar. You have until noon on Monday, February 17th to email me at nick@cigarpulpit.com with your shipping address. And if you do not get to me by noon on Monday, then I guess we're go ahead and forfeit that prize, and we'll put it back in the box for somebody else. But once you get that email to me, I'll get that shipped out to you. And then once you get it, the only thing I ask is that you take a nice picture of you with the prize that we can share around and promote the fact that we're giving stuff away. So, Calvin Bush, congratulations.
Where is Calvin from? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay. I didn't know if you had address or, cities.
Why would I be asking for his mailing address?
His last
if I
name
knew
is
where?
Bush. He might be from Texas or something.
I mean, it's possible.
Or St. Louis?
Is it all sorts of places?
Is it B-U-S-H or B-U...
B-U-S-H.
Okay, no C in there. So it's not the St. Louis Bushes.
It's not the brewery people, no.
No. They're getting their own reality show.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah.
That's going to be jacked up, I bet.
Oh, I bet. Lots of murdered people.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, so
Flying
Calvin
helicopters
Bush,
full of dogs all over the country.
that's right, he did fly the helicopter with the dog in it.
Landed in a parking lot in Fairview Heights, Illinois.
That's right. I forgot about that. So anyway, Calvin Bush, please email me and claim your prize.
Get
Good
it while
deal.
it's hot.
Yep. There you go.
And if you want to sign up for our weekly giveaways, you need to go on over to cigarpulpit.com and sign up for our free e-newsletter. Once you're on the list for the newsletter, that gets you automatically entered for the prizes. And as long as you're on the list, you're entered to win.
When does our newsletter start coming out?
Well, I had planned on having the first one out like this week that would feature stuff from TPE and our trip to Indianapolis. However, because winter weather decided to derail our trip to Indianapolis.
Yeah, it jacked us up.
I may very well do the first one at the end of the month, recapping the previous month, which would include TPE, our trip to Chicago, which I'll get to in a minute, and our rescheduled trip to Indianapolis.
There you go.
So speaking of our trips, I guess this is a good enough time as any.
The
Nick and Gator Traveling Freak Show and Cigar Evangelical Revival will be making its trip to Chicago, where we will be up there on Friday, February 20th and Saturday, February 21st. No, I'm sorry. I got those dates mixed up. Friday, February 21st and Saturday, February 22nd. And we'll be up there, and we'll find some cigar lounges to be announced later. And we will sit around and smoke, and you can come and by and see us, and we'll have some stickers and just kind of hang out and say hi to everybody. And then on Friday, February 28th and Saturday, February 29th, we will be in Indianapolis. Now, I know on Saturday, 29th, the plan is for us to go to Styx that evening at 6 p.m. for a barrel burners event. However, there is another event, or there's another place that we're talking about going that day. So the other place we're talking about going on Saturday the 29th, prior to going to Styx, is a place called Smoker's Choice in Brownsburg. Apparently, this place is just fantastic. Huge lounge, good bar. So we're going to go by Smoker's Choice in Brownsburg on Saturday, and then we'll make our way over to Styx that evening for the Barrel Burners event, which means more than likely on Friday we'll hit up Nikki Blaine's and Burn.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun
be
trip.
all over the place.
All over Chi-Town.
No, that'll be Indy.
Oh.
Chi-Town, we still haven't figured out where we're going.
We don't know where we're going.
You know what would be really nice to
What's
do,
that?
and I just don't know how far out it is is to go to the Humidor in Lisle, Illinois.
That would be. I thought about that actually.
That's where Gregory Reeves was unfortunately shot and killed. So
I'd like to go give them some love.
I think that would be a very nice spot. I just don't know geographically how far out it is from where we're going to be, but I think that would be a nice spot to go visit.
There you go. Now, coming up on our next episode, we will be smoking a cigar from MyMonthlyCigars.com.
We will.
The Robusto box.
The Robusto box.
The Nick and Gator care package.
So MyMonthlyCigars.com is a premium cigar subscription service where you can get 4 cigars sent to you every month in the Robusto box for only $30. Now, they do offer another box, which is I believe, Presidente or El Presidente box. And that box is 8 cigars for, I believe, $50. And basically all it is just 2 of every cigar that's in the Robusto box. So, if you want to smoke one with your dad or a friend or hoard them all for yourself, it gives you twice as much as the Robusto box. But anyway, so you can get those. If you get the Robusto box, Jeff and I both get the Robusto box, and we do smoke those cigars over the course of 4 episodes throughout the month.
Now, the one that we are planning to smoke for the next episode is the Ortega Cubano. We'll be smoking the Ortega Cubano.
There we go.
For those smoking along with us.
There we go. And if you go over to mymonthlycigars.com and use offer code PULPIT, PULPIT, you'll get free shipping on your first shipment, or you'll get 20% off any of the items in the store, because they do offer some items in their store, including cigars that are in the box. So if, let's say, there's one that you like that for whatever reason your brick and mortar doesn't carry it or can't get it, you can always go over there and pick up some from mymonthlycigars.com.
And if you find a cigar in there that you love, be sure to ask your brick and mortar if they can pick it up.
Definitely, because we want to support the brick and mortars.
Amen.
And the My Monthly box, it's a great way to try a bunch of different stuff that maybe you wouldn't normally try.
It's got me out of my comfort zone.
I'll admit, the February box doesn't have a single cigar in it that I've ever tried, so every one of them is new to me. So it's one of those things that it's a good way to branch out and try different stuff. The other thing that we would be remiss in not pointing out is they do have an MSRP guarantee, so the MSRP of all of the sticks within the box is guaranteed to add up and either meet or exceed the price of the box. So I think, what did you do the math on this one?
It's like a 42, 44, somewhere in there.
$42 or $43 box, but for $30. So
exactly.
You're getting a little deal. So.
And Nick probably already mentioned this and I didn't pay attention, but put in offer code PULPIT, PULPIT.
I did mention that.
Well, we doubled down.
You really don't listen to me, do you?
What?
Exactly. Anyway, so
now as we finish up, we like to do movie reviews from time to time.
Oh, God.
And Nick and I have seen a couple of movies recently. We both saw, on different occasions, we both saw 1917. And then Nick actually went the other night. I have not got to see this yet, but he went to see Birds of Prey.
I did.
So let me start with 1917. That was a great movie. I know the Academy Awards are actually, we're recording on Sunday for Tuesday, so everyone will know the outcome of the Academy Awards, because I think it's tonight.
It is tonight.
Yep. So, on the night we're recording, so everyone will know on Tuesday. But 1917 was a great movie. I'm pulling for Jojo Rabbit to win Best Picture. I know it's not going to, but it should. I love that movie.
I do like Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit was a great flick.
1917 was good. I don't,
It's not a movie I'd watch again.
I was going to say, am I fawning over it? No. I did think the camera work was really interesting. The fact that it was two big long tracking shots. There was one obvious break about the middle point of the movie. Yeah, that you kind of knew that they stopped. But otherwise, by and large, it was just one camera shot just following these guys.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. Birds of Prey, if you like Suicide Squad,
DC movies.
Yeah, it was very Suicide Squad-esque in that, it's a whole lot of action stuff, a lot of music, just a lot of stuff going on.
And Margot Robbie.
And Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn, so,
Can't beat that with a stick.
No, but it was an entertaining enough movie.
Now, another movie that very likely is going to win the Oscar, as we do this show before it's on, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think they're talking about Brad Pitt for Best Actor. You and I, we saw this movie. Have you seen it?
No.
Ryan? Okay. So we went to see this movie, and it was really good right up until it kind of wasn't.
Yeah. And then it decided to rewrite history and do this weird, bizarre,
But Quentin Tarantino's known for that. Inglourious Bastards. I mean, he rewrites history all the time.
I know. This one struck me as kind of weird.
We didn't know it was a rewrite when we went into it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're like, that didn't happen like that. Well, that didn't happen. You know, and then it clicked with us what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of came off as tacky, I thought. It was basically his version of what
took
he
me out of the
wanted
movie.
to happen in the Sharon Tate killings and everything like that versus what actually did happen. And it just got kind of, I thought it was tacky.
Yeah.
But
everybody in Hollywood's praising it up and down.
Well, yeah, because, it's bizarre revenge fantasy against the Manson family. And it's just, I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah. But it's likely going to win some awards tonight. And beyond that, I don't know what else is even up.
Joker.
True, Joker. Joker was a great movie.
Joker was a great movie.
That was it. It's up for
Dark
Best Picture and up for Best Actor.
It is.
Yeah. And Joaquin Phoenix, I think, should win Best Actor for that.
And he might.
That guy immersed himself in that role.
But was he better than what's the guy that
Jared
died?
Leto?
No, the guy that died.
Heath Ledger?
Yeah. That to me was the best Joker by far. I'm sorry, but
I agree. I would have to say that I liked Heath Ledger more than Joaquin Phoenix.
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like drove him crazy, I guess, But
Well, there's not going to be a sequel to that one.
yeah,
No.
But I think Joaquin Phoenix did a pretty good job.
I think
all things
I
considered.
think it's been out long enough that we can talk about this on the air.
Oh boy.
Did any of that happen? Like, I know it's a movie. I get that. But did any of that...
We talked about this in the episode.
Did we talk about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we gave spoiler warnings, and we talked all about this in the episode.
Yeah, because I don't think it happened. I think you're right. This was Nick's thought on it, and over time I've come to agree with you.
I think it's all in his head. I think everything that happened in that movie was pretty much in his head.
Except for the last scene.
Yeah, the very last scene when he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
I think he was in the hospital the whole time.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. You'll have to watch it and tell us what you think.
huh? Okay.
Have you seen it?
No,
Oh, well,
Yeah.
shit.
No, I haven't.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah.
So have you guys seen any movies? You and your girlfriend?
No, I mean,
Take her to a movie, man. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
I know I'm slacking.
What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, we're like home cats, man. We just like to do the whole Netflix thing
And chill.
yeah, more of the chill part, but so
Oh, my.
yeah, I'm a huge cartoon guy, man. I'm 20.
Oh, you're going to get Nick going now.
yeah.
I like cartoons.
Nerding
Yeah.
out.
I was watching Looney Tunes the other night at like midnight.
Classic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong, man.
It was the one where
They were so violent back in the day. I love
Yosemite
it.
Sam was like a spaceman, and he like came down and was like, going after Bugs Bunny for some reason. But he like came down in a UFO, and he's like in this like green suit, and he's like got this robot that's helping him out trying to get Bugs Bunny. And I'm just like, I could see like Marvin the Martian, but why did they put Yosemite Sam up in space? It was very bizarre.
A lot of doobies being rolled back in the day in
Dude,
that studio.
Something was going on.
Smoking the old jazz cabbage. The old devil's lettuce, yeah. You know what's going on back there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was fun. So
Well, I'm pulling for Jojo Rabbit.
I'm just afraid it's just up against some stiff competition.
But, okay, so Scarlett Johansson's up for an Oscar for it, if I'm not. Actually up for two different movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got better than even odds on that.
I mean, yeah, but
You know. She was great in Jojo Rabbit.
she was.
Yeah. And Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, like, really, really
He
good.
made the movie.
Dude, you got to see Jojo Rabbit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't recommend that one enough.
It's a World War II movie.
Oh.
Lots of Nazis.
Like, lots of Nazis.
Lots of all the Nazis.
It's about a kid who is in the Hitler Youth.
Okay.
And he has this imaginary friend, which is Adolf Hitler, kind of directing him and telling him stuff. And it's supposed to symbolize the brainwashing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, but Hitler's goofy as hell. And so, anyway.
It's the director of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his name now. But his mom is played by Scarlett Johansson. Well, Scarlett Johansson is secretly helping the Jewish people, try and get out. So she's got this little Jewish girl hiding in her house, and the little boy finds the Jewish girl. And so throughout the course of the movie, he has to kind of like wrestle with his Hitler Youth training versus discovering this girl and realizing that she's not some like bizarre demon and whatnot, and trying to like rationalize the fact that, hey, no, she's an actual human being, while at the same time Berlin is getting ready to fall. Like, it's at the end of the movie, end of the war and everything, and Berlin's falling and all. It's actually a really good movie.
That sounds good, yeah.
For a while.
So I found the director's name, who actually plays Hitler in the movie. I can't pronounce it. You want to give it a shot?
Taika Waititi?
Taika Waititi? He also goes by Taika Cohen.
No, it's not Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Yeah.
Waititi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he does an outstanding job.
He directed
in this
Thor
movie.
Ragnarok. I know
He
that
did,
much.
you're right.
Yeah. So
He's like Samoan German.
Yeah.
I guess.
it's an odd combination going on there.
He plays a great Hitler, which is a weird sentence to even say out loud.
Anyway, so
My favorite part of that movie is the grenade.
yeah. That's
We
pretty
can't
good.
say anymore because we're just going to spoil it.
I know.
But you
We
guys
just-
have got to watch this movie.
Anyway. So, Jeff, are you done with your cigar over there?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I
You
did.
just set
I
it down.
did take a quick break because I was smoking a lot faster than you guys.
Okay.
This is a good stick, man. I like it. It was a good recommendation, Ryan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It was. Well, I guess final thoughts. Anything for the good of the cause?
It just.
I think
This
I've
is a
touched
great
base on a
cigar.
lot of
And
stuff.
remind us, what are we smoking again?
This is the Casa Cuba Flor Fina,
Yeah.
And it's available here at the world famous Hill Cigar Company.
St. Louis landmark.
Yep.
So you can come by and pick that up and say hi to Ryan.
It's amazing to me how many of our listeners have told us or told the folks here at the Hill that they've come in because of the podcast.
We've had at least a couple people from Chicago swing
Yes.
by.
I've dealt with them personally, so thank you guys for that.
Hey, no problem.
You guys are bringing us business. Appreciate it.
Bringing
Hey,
in
we're all
business
about it.
all over the place. Exactly.
Snapping necks and cashing checks.
I'm more the neck snapper.
I just don't have any checks to cash.
Earning and burning.
Earning and burning, baby.
There we go. So, well, unless anybody else has anything for the good of the cause.
Ryan, what are your thoughts sitting in with the ignorance here?
Oh, God.
Like, what's your overview of what we've just done?
You guys are very special in my heart.
Aw.
You guys are
I think he just said we're very special.
I'm emphasizing the special part. Yeah. Thank you guys for bringing me on. It's awesome to just smoke a stick with you guys and hang out. I appreciate it.
It's been a great time.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, fun. Well, we appreciate your time.
Hey, Ryan,
And,
he's going to tell everybody to stay smoky.
God damn it,
Stay smoky.
he always tramples my ending. So, anyway,
I just
Well.
like to trigger you at every turn.
well, this has been another sermon from the Cigar
It
Pulpit.
has. With our buddy Ryan. Yay, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm Nick. That's Gator, and that's Ryan. And we'll see you next time. So stay smoky.